we are going to make a ham, cheese, and potato casserole today. I'm trying to use up a lot of my items, so I picked this recipe and then I'm going to kind of change it to suit my needs and what I have. So the first thing I did was I have canned potatoes that I canned myself. I've already cut up 2 jars in here, and then I didn't think it was enough, so I grabbed 1 more. So I'm going to get that cut up first, and I'm going to put everything into a large bowl to mix it all together before I put it in the 11 by 13. So the other thing you could do with this is you can use like some kind of frozen potatoes like tater tots or something as well. Just basically whatever you have around, just use. If you have leftover mashed potatoes, I'm sure that would work as well. Okay, then I have 1 can of cream of mushroom soup. Just use whatever you want. If you want cream of chicken, whatever you have available. Okay, now for the ham, I have a ton of these that I had bought because I stocked up on these for just in case. These last a long time, but these are coming, actually this one is this month at its best by date. I'm sure it will be perfectly fine if I left it for another year, but I just kind of want to try to learn some recipes to use these in as well. So I just thought, why not give it a try in this? I will never know if I don't try. Okay, the can was giving me a hard time. The little thing you open it with broke. So I had to resort to my electric can opener to get it open. Anyways, I drained out the, pardon me, I drained out the liquid. I'm just going to cut this into little bite-sized pieces. I actually opened a can of this the other day just to see if, I had tried it already, but it had been a little bit, so I just thought I'd open it to see the taste, to see if it would taste okay in some kind of dish like this. So my little dog is over there waiting for me to save him a piece, so I better save him a little piece. All right, love bug, come here. Come here, baby. There you go. Okay, so just mix that up a little bit. And then we're going to put in about a cup of sour cream. Looks like that's roughly what I got in here. Maybe just slightly less than a cup. I'd have to add a little bit more liquid. Let's see. Okay, I just went to melt half a cup of butter that I forgot to do previously. And then I cut up 2 small onions as well. Okay, oh, salt, pepper. I already greased my 9x13. So let's give this a little mix first. And then you're supposed to add some cheese. I'm going to say roughly a half a cup to a cup, depending on what you like. I'm using mozzarella because it got shoved to the back and got a little frozen, so it's not going to taste good on anything other than something that's being baked and going in the oven. It smells really good. Oh, I was a little short on the sour cream, so I had a Heluva Good dip, sour cream onion dip in the fridge, so I put like 2 tablespoons of that in here. So I thought it'd add a little flavor. Smells really good with that on there. Okay, so I think I might add just a little. Actually, you know what? I'll add some cheese on at the end. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. It definitely smells good. And then we're going to bake it at 375 for 35-40 minutes, uncovered. Okay, and then I think I will top this with cheese after, maybe the last few minutes or something. I think 3 jars of canned potato was perfect for this amount. Just a little extra on top. Okay, that is it. Okay, it's done. It smells really, really good. My son came up and already took some. He couldn't wait. You can smell the cheese and the ham. It's nice looking. It's really good. And I think putting in those couple of scoops of the Heluva Good. Actually, let me grab that. It really added to it. So good. Okay, so this is the French onion Heluva Good sour cream dip. This one here. So good. Okay, that is a definite. I will make this again, and this will actually be a really cheap meal to make if you ever have to watch your money, because those cans are roughly $4 of the cans of ham. The potatoes, it was probably 3 jars. I'm going to say probably about a little less than half a bag of potatoes, and then a little sour cream and stuff. And so it's inexpensive, and this is going to do all 5 of us. So give this a try for sure. Another recipe that I am going to make this week is some cheesecake. This is the best cheesecake and the only cheesecake I will ever make. But I thought the reason I thought I would make this is because I had some condensed milk that just went past its date, and cream cheese that needed to get used up from before Christmas. And then I had a graham cracker crust that I've had for about 4 months. So this needs to get used up. So with all of those, I thought this would be a wonderful recipe. So I used one of the packages of Kirkland cream cheese. So I left that out for a little while to soften a little bit. So that's in here. We're going to use a whole can of condensed milk. Now my condensed milk is a little darker than it usually is, but it's still going to come out yummy. So there we go. Then you need 1/3 cup of lemon juice. Oh, I think I had that slightly open. I made a mess. And we need a little bit of vanilla. And if you are a person that likes to measure, it's roughly a teaspoon. And then we are just going to mix this up. Okay. Let that drip off. Then we're just going to open up the pie crust or the graham cracker crust. Now we're just going to pour this into here. Okay, we're just going to smooth this out. Put the lid on, and it goes into the fridge. Okay, today we're going to make some chicken soup. I have some sickness going on in the house, so it's a great time to use up some of these chicken soups. So I had pre-canned some chicken soup. They are the same, but I just use a different amount of chicken and ingredients in there. So yes, I pre-canned this. I do have a video on how I did it. I'm going to actually make 2 different kinds. So I love this because you have all the carrots, all the onions, and some chicken in these, and you just have to dump them in. Okay, it's basically the base of the soup. It's so simple. So it already has some broth in it, but I do have some chicken broth from 2022 that I want to use. There's a little bit of the grease on the top, but that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to add in 1 extra chicken broth into each. But if you don't have chicken broth, you can just add water and then some bouillon cubes or whatever you choose to use. I don't think that that's going to be enough chicken in there. So I also canned just chicken. And these are awesome to have just sitting on your shelf for days like today when I really don't feel like making anything. But it's nice that it's already pre-made. I can just open and throw them in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just heat both of these pans up. And the reason I made 2 was because I'm going to add rice into one and some pasta into the other one. rice gluten-free, and then pasta for whoever doesn't want rice. So, and that is about it, other than I'm going to add in some chicken. I'll split this and put half and half. Okay, now the soup itself is boiling, so I'm just going to add the pasta in. For the one with the pasta, I prefer the smaller pasta, so I'm going to use orzo. This is probably about half of a bag that I'm going to put in for this. And I did add 1 quart of water into each and 1 bouillon cube, just because I didn't think that was going to be enough for my family. And then you just kind of eyeball the amount. There's no set amount, so I'm just going to put in some rice, and I'm going to put the lid on both of them, and they're going to cook for 20 minutes. You're going to turn the temperature down to simmer low, and I'm going to put the timer on for 20 minutes, and that should be roughly, you might have to add a few minutes to it. The rice one absorbs the water pretty good, so you might need to add more water to that, but other than that, it's just as simple as that. And that'll be, well, that'll definitely create a lot of soup, especially with the rice and pasta in there. So anyways, I hope that gives you some good ideas. So I went through my drawer of apples, and I found this huge amount that were, had big bruises on them. No one really wants to eat them. So I had them sitting out on the counter. I was going to make apple crisp with them, but I let them sit out for a little too long and they're starting to wither. So I thought, because I have such a large amount, that I would make applesauce. Anyways, so I'm going to leave the skins on. So I already washed them really good, but I am going to take the insides out, the seeds. So basically all I'm going to do is remove the seeds, and I'm just going to throw them in like this. I'm going to use my Ninja for this just because it's less watching. It's going to take roughly 4 hours in the Ninja just to cook on slow, but you can also cook it on your stove as well. You just have to keep a little bit more eye on it. So yeah, so I'm just going to do this to all of them. And it's super, super easy. You can even do the same process to make it into apple butter. You're just going to make it a little bit more thicker, so you're going to cook it a little bit longer. Okay, and I'll come back and I'll show you the end product. So this is the amount we're starting with. If you are also using a Ninja to do this, you are going to want it on the slow cooker setting. It's going to be high for 4 hours. You're going to need your pressure lid, and you are going to keep it on vent. You don't want there to build pressure because you're going to open it once an hour and stir it around. Okay, so the apples are done. It's been 4 hours since they've been cooked. All I'm going to do is add some cinnamon. So if you wanted to add sugar, whatever you want, this is the point to do it. And I'm going to use my immersion blender, and we're going to mix this up. So this is applesauce like this. It might have, if you want chunks in it, just don't mix it around as much. Or if you want to make it thicker to make it like apple butter, then just put it back on to boil it down a little bit more. And it's as simple as that. I'm not going to add any sugar to it because I find it just the sweetness level is just right. And yeah, so I'm just going to let it cool on the counter, and then I'm going to put in a container in the fridge, and this will be what we snack on for the next few days.